I came home that evening expecting nothing out of the ordinary. Tired and drained from the long, frustrating drive, I was simply looking forward to a quiet meal and some rest. As I stepped inside and called out to my wife, I was met with silence. That didn't immediately alarm me. She could have been in the shower, on a call, or out of earshot. Still, the silence felt too deep. No television, no music, no clatter of dishes. Just stillness. I tossed my bag onto the couch and made my way to the bedroom to change. Passing the bathroom, I noticed the door slightly ajar with the light still on. That struck me as odd. We were both careful about turning off lights to keep the electricity bill low. I stopped, pushed the door open gently, and felt my stomach twist at what I saw. A pair of men's shoes sat beside the tub, definitely not mine. My gaze scanned the room. A damp towel hung behind the door. A razor I didn't recognize rested on the sink. Even my toothbrush had been moved slightly, now sitting beside another one I had never seen before. A sick feeling crept over me. I stood motionless, trying to make sense of it all. Then I heard faint steps coming from the bedroom, soft, deliberate, like someone trying not to be heard. I turned and followed the sound. My wife stood near the closet, fully dressed but clearly startled by my presence. Her face went pale, and her eyes widened as if she hadn't expected me to be home yet. Trying to stay composed, I looked at her and said, "There's something in the bathroom I need to ask you about." Her eyes flicked toward the hallway. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice tight. "There's a man's pair of shoes in there. A razor. A towel. None of it is mine. Who do they belong to?" I asked. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Her lips quivered. "It's not what it looks like," she finally stammered. And just like that, everything began to shift. I hadn't accused her of anything outright. But her expression, her tone, it gave her away. Her face flushed. She looked down. I didn't even need to say what I was thinking. I just asked, "Why do you look scared?" She shook her head quickly, her voice faltering. They're just my friends. He came by after the gym to shower. That's all." My chest tightened. "A friend? Since when do your friends shower at our house?" She didn't respond. Instead, she moved past me toward the bathroom and began collecting the razor and towel, as if tidying up would erase the implications. I followed her. "Where is he now?" I asked, trying to keep my tone level. "He left before you got here," she said quietly. "He was just here for a while. He was tired." She wouldn't look me in the eye. Every word sounded rehearsed, like she was choosing them carefully. My mind raced. Who was this man? How long had this been happening? "You're telling me a man came into our home, used our shower, and just left all his things behind?" I asked, my voice sharper now. She hesitated. "He forgot. I told him not to, but he was rushing." Anger welled up inside me, but I tried to hold myself together. I needed clarity, not chaos. I took a breath and asked the one question that had been forming in my gut. "Are you having an affair?" Her eyes went wide. "No. I swear I would never." "Then who is he?" I asked again, louder this time. Her eyes filled with tears. "Please, it's not what you think. You have to trust me." I said nothing. I walked over and sat on the edge of the bed, hands over my face, trying to think through the mess. She stood frozen, unsure of what to do or say. The room was thick with tension. Then a faint thump came from the guest room. We both went still. I stood up. My wife grabbed my arm in a panic. "Please don't. There's no one. He's not here anymore." But I didn't stop. I walked straight to the guest room and opened the door. At first it looked empty. Then I noticed a shadow behind the curtain. My pulse spiked. I yanked the fabric aside and there he was, barefoot, shirtless, eyes wide in terror. He looked to be in his early 30s. "What the hell is this?" I shouted. He stumbled over his words, unable to give a clear answer. My wife rushed in, now crying, clutching at my arm. "Please don't do anything. Let me explain." I turned to her, livid. "Explain? You told me he left. You lied. Right to my face." She sobbed harder, covering her mouth with her hand. I didn't know what else to do. I panicked. I turned back to the man. "Who are you?" He looked at me like a cornered animal. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. So it's true then? I asked. The words felt like acid in my throat. My wife collapsed onto the bed, crying uncontrollably. I didn't plan this. It just happened. I never wanted to hurt you. I stepped away, unable to take any more. I couldn't even look at them. The pain was too sharp, too fresh. Everything felt like it was collapsing around me. The life we shared, the trust we built, the love I thought was solid. Now it all felt hollow. She tried to call out to me, but I didn't respond. I just walked out the door into the fading light of day. I didn't have a destination. I just needed to move, to breathe, to escape the weight crushing my chest. I didn't know what I would do next. I didn't even know how to feel. But one thing was certain, no matter how much it hurt, I was glad I came home early that day. Because at least now, I knew the truth.